Good morning and welcome to the Unitarian Universalist Church of Buffalo. My name is Eddie Harris and I will be your worship associate today. To everyone joining us either here in our beautiful sanctuary or online, we are glad you are here. Whether this is your first time or your 1,000th time, whoever you are, wherever you come from, you are welcome here as you are. We acknowledge that the land upon which our church rests is the traditional territory of the Haudenosaunee people, the original nation of this land, who continue to call for justice and self-determination. We have a few announcements this morning. Caitlin Disick, a member of our youth group and a Girl Scout who is pursuing her Gold Award, is collecting sleepers for newborns in need. She is collecting sleepers in sizes newborn and 0 through 3 months, and up to 12 months is accepted, as well as newborn size clothing and diapers. There is a basket in the garden entrance, and she will be collecting through the end of October. Thank you for your generosity. There is a grief group today at noon in the Gardner room next to the kitchen. See Bonnie Collins for more information. And Burning Books, the bookstore, is selling books after the service. Please check out their wares. And now Tom Petroselli will share a brief announcement. Tom.
And I promise it will be brief. Can you all hear me? Okay, cool. So hi everybody, I'm Tom Petroselli. This month is Stewardship Month. It's a time of the year when we pledge our financial support for our church, its community, and its ministries. This year, we're asking everyone to think about increasing that pledge amount by 3 to 5%. If you need a pledge card, want to turn in a pledge card, want to know other ways to pledge, or maybe you're wondering what does all this pledging stuff mean, I will be in the parish hall after service. I'm hoping we can get everybody's pledges in by the 26th of this month, which is Stewardship Sunday. So in advance, thank you all.
Thank you, Tom. And now let us take a moment to deepen our connections by greeting our neighbors.
Okay, if you're going to be there. Good morning. If we haven't met, my name is Reverend Bethany Russell-Lowe, and I have the great pleasure and honor of serving this congregation. And this half a face you see is Otis, my son, popping over the top. Yeah, claps for Otis. I liked that. Very sweet. Our words for a call to worship this morning come from the Muskogee poet Joy Harjo. She writes, "The world begins at a kitchen table. No matter what, we must eat to live. The gifts of earth are brought and prepared, set on the table. So it has been since creation, and it will go on. We chase chickens or dogs away from it. Babies teethe at its corners. They scrape their knees under it. It is here that children are given instruction on what it means to be human. We make men at it. We make women. And I'll add, we make people of all genders. At this table, we gossip, recall enemies and the ghosts of lovers. Our dreams drink coffee with us as they put their arms around our children. They laugh with us at our poor, falling down selves, and as we put ourselves back together once again at the table. This table has been a house in the rain, an umbrella in the sun. Wars have begun and ended at this table. It is a place to hide in the shadow of terror, a place to celebrate the terrible victory. We have given birth on this table and have prepared our parents for burial here. At this table, we sing with joy, with sorrow. We pray of suffering and remorse. We give thanks. Perhaps the world will end at the kitchen table while we are laughing and crying, eating of the last sweet bite. Come, let's worship together. And will you join in our words of chalice lighting? You can rise in body and spirit too. We gather in loving community, inspiring one another to transform ourselves to create a more just and compassionate world. And stay rising in body if you are there, and sing our first hymn. The words are up on the screen. If you're following along in the hymnal, it's number 1073. We are just singing the first kind of few lines. So follow along on the screen to get a sense of what we are skipping. Oh, don't sing the Hey Anna part. We are skipping that. Might be a one to get out your hymnals for if you don't have them already. The choir's going to lead along. Follow us. Ready?
1, 2, 3.
The earth is our mother. We must take care of her. The earth is our mother.
We must take care of her. The sacred ground we walk upon, with every step we take, the sacred ground we walk upon, with every step we take. The earth is our mother, she will take care of us. The earth is our mother, she will take care
For those who don't know me, I'm Jess, the Director of Religious Education, and I'll be reading our story this morning. So if anyone young or young at heart would like to come and join me, come on up. And our story this morning is This Land, the History of the Land We're On by Ashley Fairbanks. This is my house. I live here with my family. Before us, another family lived here. Before that, another family lived here too. And another, and another. Before our house was here, there was another family with a different kind of house, a wigwam. There was a whole village full of families, laughing, cooking, and playing. There were even annoying little brothers. But when people came here from Europe, they forced most of those families to leave their homes. All across the country, Native Americans had to leave everything they knew and move onto small pieces of land called reservations. But despite everything done to them, many Native American people still live in my city today, like my friend TJ. He's Anishinaabe, and he lives with his grandma. TJ's grandma, Noko, taught me that before my ancestors arrived, this land was filled with indigenous people from coast to coast. I wonder if all of them made food as good as she does. Nokomis means my grandmother in Anishinaabe language, and that's why they call her Noko. Noko taught us a song to help us remember that indigenous people have always been here, and they're still here wherever we go. This land is sacred, this land is living, from the Black Hills to Pueblo Canyon, from the swampy bayous to the salmon swimming, this land all has a history. Now, whenever my family goes somewhere, I ask, who lived here before the people who live here now? At the Grand Canyon, I learned that 8 tribes call it home: the Havasupai, Yavapai, Paiute, Hopi, Zuni, Hualapai, Apache, and Diné. Their relatives have lived here longer than anyone can remember, even the really old people. At the Golden Gate Bridge, I learned that the Ohlone have been fishing there for thousands of years. In New York City, I learned that the Lenape were here long before all these skyscrapers. Everywhere we go, there are indigenous people to learn from. So I keep singing, this land is sacred, this land is living. This land all has a history, even my backyard. And so before I let you go, I would like to tell you a little bit about the people who were on this land before it became Buffalo. So we talk about the Haudenosaunee people before most of our worship services. And the Haudenosaunee, or the Iroquois, were a confederacy or a team of 6 tribes. The Haudenosaunee actually stole this land from other indigenous people who were called the Wenro. The Wenro were forced to move to Ohio, where they joined other tribes to become the Wyandot Nation. The Seneca were the largest of the 6 Haudenosaunee tribes, and they were called the Keeper of the Western Door because they were to the west of the rest of the tribes. The people we call Seneca call themselves Onondaga, or Great Hill People in the Seneca language. The Seneca lived in long houses on the sides of the river and farmed crops like the 3 sisters, which is corn, beans, and squash, for their food, along with hunting and fishing. They were considered strong competition in battle, but they were also known for their skills at diplomacy and their willingness to join with the other tribes to form the Iroquois Confederacy. It's important for us to remember the history of the people who were here before us, and to remember that they didn't leave because they wanted to. They were forced to leave by the European settlers who wanted the land for themselves. That's why we acknowledge them before our services and why we're talking about how to remember them in more meaningful ways. And now we'll go off to learn some more in our classes upstairs.
Each week, we take a good portion of our Sunday morning offering and give it away to a social justice cause outside our church walls. This month, our Share the Plate partner is the Felician Community Services Food Pantry. Founded by Sister Mary Josette Schmigelski, Felician Community Services, located on the Villa Maria College campus, provides vital support to our neighbors in the 14225 and 14211 zip codes. Their work encompasses a food pantry, a clothing closet, diaper bank, pet pantry, and a youth program, offering food assistance and connections to other community supports. You can support our Share the Plate ministry by dropping cash or a check in the offering plate, or by visiting our church website to donate online. Let us please give generously as we are able to support the work of this church and our wider community. The offering will now gratefully be received.
Rêvé cette nuit que tu dansais au milieu d'une terre brûlée, comme si les pas t'appartenaient, comme si tu les avais inventés. Comment tu plantais la neige, comment nous sommes faits de pierre. Je veux t'écrire une chanson pour te rappeler ton nom. Ton vieux nom. Tomber toujours, et dehors les lunes hurlent à la mer, les oiseaux quittent tour à tour, toi l'abbaye, j'ai brisé les lois. Un soleil sans dit, on n'est pas venu au monde se consacrer à la misère. Les maisons qui logeaient nos vices, je les ai démolies. Faut bien donner une chance à la lumière.
Sonne venera ahora itaco lumentago yakti lo may tempe sa kalak si magama chinete mabili nga ngo kalak taka dada kan nara kan kala kama kisani nula sa kalak sa mayaman na lagi wala waki ahat palilak tunga Nalutana, lumilaw si Mayabu, inulakasak si Mga. Inulakasak sulit ako, awla ko na nangyatol, lumagalon, awla na nangyatol. Naman naliwan nun, sulit ako siyaman, awla siya kamali. Inulakasak nagilaw si Mayabu.
Our reading for meditation this morning is A Walk in Seili by the Dene poet Jake Skeets. The sun fails to make sense anymore. An insect buzzes in overgrown red broom. Butterfly whistle, spark of beetle or wire rush. Cattle choke wide sage in later weather. A field of big grass and red sky, small water amiss through words and wind, and faded scar, like the one I trace on your wrist sometimes. And man, the day fell hours ago, and you asked me to slow down. Something shifts in the bushes, a rabbit, an eternity, a bull snake. There is a meteorite in my hand, a bird in yours.
We come here each week through the literal and Zoom doors, or the YouTube doors, brimming with joy, with sorrow, with anticipation and hope, with grief and fear. And when we gather, we don't shy away from any of that. We intentionally hold space for all of it. Because, as I try to say in some way each week, all of you is welcome here. Whoever you've been, whoever you are, and whoever you are in the path to becoming. That means all the feelings too. There's nothing to hide here. For our pastoral list this week, I want to relay the sad news that Jim Dahlberg, who was a longtime member, even though he wasn't active in recent years, died on September 30th after a short illness. The family is not planning a service at this time, but we will let you know if that changes. And Debbie, his widow, would welcome cards. Just contact the church office and we can get those to her. And also, there will be a celebration of life service for Diane Bachrath this coming Friday at 11 a.m. right here. I will officiate, the choir's offering music, and there will be a reception hosted by the family, her nieces, afterwards. If you have someone or something weighing heavy on your heart or mind this morning for whatever reason, I invite you to speak that name, that place, that thing out loud into the wide embrace of this community. Whether you are deep in sorrow or full of joy, all of who you are is welcome here. Let the congregation say together, Amen.
Hey yo, hey, hey, be a way, oh, hey yo, hey, be a way, oh, hey yo, hey yo, hey. Remember me, when the sun comes up in the morning sky, there I will be, soaring with the eagle so high, feeling free. Remember me, down the road, hand in hand, you and me. Hello, hey, hey, be a way, oh, hey, oh, hey, be a way, oh, hey, oh, hey, oh, hey, be a way, oh, hey, oh, Remember me, when the sun comes up in the morning sky, there I will be, soaring with the eagle so high, feeling free. Remember me, down the road, hand in hand, you and me. Hey, oh, hello, hey, hey, we are waiting, oh, hey, oh, hey, we are waiting, oh, hey, oh, hey, oh, hey, we are waiting, oh, hey, oh, Remember me, when the sun comes up in the morning sky, there I will be, soaring with the eagle so high, feeling free. Remember me, down the road, hand in hand, you and me. Hey, oh, hey, oh, hey, oh. Hey, oh, hey. Hey, we are, hey, oh, hey, oh, hey. Hey, we are, hey, oh, sun comes up in the morning sky, there I will be. There I will be. Soaring with the eagle so high, feeling free. Remembering down the road, hand in hand, you and me. Hi-yo-way, away, yo.
As we gather here today in Buffalo, we are on a land with deep and complex roots. While it is the ancestral homeland of the Seneca people and the Haudenosaunee Confederacy, we must also acknowledge that this region was once stewarded by other nations, including the Wendat, the Erie, and the Neutral peoples, who were displaced over centuries of conflict and colonization. Today, I want to focus on the wisdom of the Haudenosaunee, whose story is not just one of the past, but one that holds profound lessons for our present. Long before the United States Constitution was ever imagined, the nations of this region created their own, the Great Law of Peace. It was a constitution that unified 5 warring nations into a peaceful, democratic confederacy founded not on the power of weapons, but on the power of reason. It is a testament to the idea that democracy is not just a European invention, but a deep and ancestral human value. And within that structure was a remarkable balance of power. The Haudenosaunee are a matrilineal society where clan mothers hold the sacred and political authority to choose and depose of chiefs. In a world where our first principle calls us to affirm the inherent worth of every person, this is a powerful living example of how a society that embedded gender equality into its very foundation. As Unitarian Universalists, we are called to learn from the wisdom of all traditions, and yet we must also confess that our tradition, despite its high ideals, has at times been complicit in the very systems of colonial harm we now seek to dismantle. This truth calls us not to guilt, but to a deeper responsibility to listen. So the query I'm left with is this: how can the wisdom of the people who first called this land home guide us today in our work of building a more just and peaceful world? Perhaps the answer begins by listening to their descendants, who are leading the modern land back movement. This is a call for indigenous sovereignty, not just for the return of territory, but for the restoration of a sacred relationship with the earth and the power to build a future on their own terms. Perhaps honoring their wisdom today means supporting their vision for that future.
Thank you, Eddie. As someone new to this area, I appreciate you sharing, helping me learn, and us all learning together about the people who've stewarded this land before us. Our reading today comes from the Autumn poet and linguist Ophelia Zepeda. She was my former neighbor in Tucson, not my real neighbor, but my neighbor, you know. It's called Smoke in Our Hair. The scent of burning wood holds the strongest memory. Mesquite, cedar, pinyon, juniper, all are distinct. Mesquite is dry desert air and mild winter. Cedar and pinyon are colder places. Winter air in our hair is pulled away, and scent of smoke settles in its place. We walk around the rest of the day with the aroma resting on our shoulders. The sweet smell holds the strongest memory. We stand around the fire. The sound of the crackle of wood and spark is ephemeral. Smoke, like memories, permeates our hair, our clothing, our layers of skin. The smoke travels deep to the seat of memory. We walk away from the fire. No matter how far we walk, we carry this scent with us. New York City, France, Germany, we catch the scent of burning wood. We are brought home. That ends the reading. A number of years ago, I was in a workshop with Joloki, who's also known as Reverend Jean-Luc Dessembles, and the workshop was titled, "The Revolution Will Not Be Colonized." I was the only white person in the space, and that was something I was very conscientious about. There were brilliant, mind-opening concepts we explored together. I still have my notes from what I learned that night. But one invitation from that workshop has been seared into my mind ever since. And the invitation was to think back to in my personal ancestry and to think about your most recent pre-colonized ancestor. Most recent pre-colonized ancestor. Some people in our gathering could think about a person. Some had just an image in their head or a sense of their life. Some had stories in their mind. Some knew the name of a person. Some didn't, though. As a white person with American colonizer ancestry on one side and full-on English blood on the other, I couldn't even fathom how far back I would have to think to imagine a pre-colonized or pre-colonizer ancestor. It would stretch beyond the enormous, and I mean enormous, genealogy that my uncles have put together in the past few decades. It takes up a whole wall when we gather and they unfurl it. Enormous genealogy. Even my family's memory, my family's stories can't stretch far enough beyond the ships and the royal conquests to imagine what my most recent pre-colonized ancestor might be, who they might be. And what I felt in this exercise was not guilt or shame, but loss. Real loss of my own connection to the roots of my ancestors, the roots that they held in a place, in a climate, in a land for generations. How did my blood ancestors steward the earth before they shifted towards something more like ownership of it? This was a sense of loss I felt not only in my mind, but in my body and in my spirit and spirituality. I wondered what other parts of disconnection I might be rooted in the sense of being without a sense of my indigeneity. My colleague, Reverend Mike Johnson, once wrote, "Native spiritual traditions are not for sale. They are inextricably woven into the network of relationship of Native communities and of the particular lands in which those communities live. Don't try to steal someone else's culture," she writes. "Do your own spiritual work. Research the stories of your ancestors. Learn their names and their birthplaces. Trace the journeys that brought them to the land where you now reside. Learn the stories of their brokenness and their connections. Ask them to help you find your way." The Autumn poet spoke about carrying the scent of burning wood in our hair and how that leads us home. And the invitation from that workshop all those years ago felt like an invitation to smell the scent in my own hair, to lead myself home. I got curious what my pre-colonizer English and French and Austrian ancestors were like. What were their lives like? What was their spirituality? What was their inspiration? What plant medicine surrounded them? What did they give themselves and take when they were sick or needing support? What songs did they sing? What annual practices did they engage in? And it also led me to grapple with my own disconnection from all of that, my not even knowing what that might be. Because so many of my ancestors were colonizers, their own indigeneity was superseded by white supremacy, Christian denomination, and hidden from our history today. We've heard together from many Indigenous authors and musicians this morning, right from our call to worship to the music, right on through the benediction, with two exceptions. All of the voices are Indigenous peoples from United States and Canada. What might we learn from the poets, from these prophets? Not so that we might take their culture, but so that we might inspire and enrich our own searching for our roots that go beyond our DNA and current culture. Like Joy Harjo, what are the kitchen table practices of your Indigenous culture, your family? How do those practices inspire resilience and resistance in you? How is natural life interwoven with your own life as you walk through your own Seili, as Jake Sheets describes, reflecting on the struggles of living and being in relationship with creation? What is that scent of burning wood in your own hair, which, like Zepeda describes, calls you, no matter where you are on earth, home? Who were your pre-colonizer ancestors, and how might you grow closer to them? As rich as that question might be, it's important to note that there's double work for those of us who are not Indigenous here. We must do that internal work of connecting to our own roots, our own indigeneity, and we also have to face in a truth-filled way the colonization, the genocide, the immense harm our ancestors did. Some of us, I might say most of us, are challenged by this request. We resist, we avoid, we resist the guilt. We say, nope, that's not mine, that's theirs. And to this piece of rigidity that I feel in myself and I think might be in you in big and small ways, I offer this from African-American author Isabel Wilkerson. It's from her book, Caste. We in the developed world are like homeowners who inherited a house on a piece of land that is beautiful on the outside, but whose soil is unstable loam and rock, heaving and contracting over generations. Cracks patched, but the deeper ruptures waved away for decades, centuries even. Many people might rightly say, I had nothing to do with how this all started. I have nothing to do with the sins of the past. My ancestors never attacked Indigenous people, never owned slaves. And yes, not one of us was here when this house was built. Our immediate ancestors may have had nothing to do with it. But here we are, the current occupants of a property with stress cracks and bowed walls and fissures built into the foundation. We are the heirs to whatever is right or wrong with it. We did not erect the uneven pillars or joists, but they are ours to deal with now. And any further deterioration is, in fact, in our hands. I appreciate that framework that any further deterioration is ours to resist, which means facing this truth head on, which means understanding how our actions and thoughts, however unintentional, however seated below our consciousness, have been shaped by a project of colonization. Most of our work, all of our work, is this twin work, to connect within with our Indigenous ancestors, and also to face the reality and how we can lessen the harms of colonization in our world today. Eddie mentioned in his reflection the land back movement, and it led me to look more into that. I had heard of it and knew in general what it meant, but I wanted to learn more. It's a dispersed grassroots movement across indigenous communities to restore indigenous stewardship to their ancestral lands. It's in the United States and beyond. In the United States, the current action is focused on restoring indigenous stewardship to the Black Hills, also known as Mount Rushmore, to the Sioux or Lakota, who have considered that mountain holy ground for centuries. Some indigenous people envision that Mount Rushmore, what we now know as Mount Rushmore, might be something like a Holocaust museum, drawing our attention towards the European conquest of these lands and the resulting genocide of Native American peoples. It shifted something in me, and I can see what return of land, return to stewardship, how it might impact all of us, help all of us, maybe even start to begin to heal harm. This is hard work just to imagine, and we're just skimming the surface here this morning, right? It's the work that will extend beyond all of our lifetimes, and I mean even the littlest among us, beyond the lifetimes of their children, and beyond the lifetimes of probably their children, and probably still beyond their children. And it is still worth doing to resist the harm and start imagining real healing. Robin Wall Kimmerer is a Potawatomi botanist and author, and her work as a whole examines how we might learn more about ourselves, what it means to be human and part of creation from looking at botany, at nature. In her book, Braiding Sweetgrass, she discusses the specifical reciprocal nature of the relationship between algae and fungus, and she writes this: scientists are interested in how the marriage of algae and fungus occurs, and so they've tried to identify the factors that induce two species to live as one. But when researchers put the two together in a laboratory and provide them with ideal conditions for both the algae and the fungus, they gave each other the cold shoulder and proceeded to live totally separate lives in the same culture dish, like the most platonic of roommates. The scientists were puzzled and began to tinker with the habitat, altering one factor, then another, but still there was no lichen. It was only when they severely curtailed the resources, when they created the harsh and stressful conditions, that the two would turn towards each other and begin to cooperate. Only with severe need did the hyphae curl around the alga. Only when the alga was stressed did it welcome the advances. She continues. When times are easy and there's plenty to go around, individual species can go it alone. But when conditions are harsh and life is tenuous, it takes a team sworn to reciprocity to keep life going forward. In a world of scarcity, interconnection and mutual aid become critical for survival. So say the lichens. If we put our faith in this science, in this story of interdependence, now is as good a time as any to turn towards each other, to turn like the algae towards our neighbors who are being kidnapped and murdered, to turn like the fungus towards our neighbors who are being persecuted just for being who they are, and to turn towards that tender part of ourselves, that core of love that resides within each of us. May we become the people our children's children need us to be. May we take our lead from indigenous wisdom, indigenous science. May we be good and better stewards of creation, of the earth, of the waters, of the fires, of the mountains. Amen, and blessed be. And I'd like to teach you a song to close us out. This song is not by an Indigenous author, but it is aligned with what we're speaking of today, of returning stewardship to the land. I'm going to sing it through once, and then I'll line it out to you. And then the choir is going to help us feel some confidence. Yes, if you'd like to rise in body or spirit, you are welcome to. Let me sing it through once for you. There are more waters rising, this I know, this I know. There are more waters rising, this I know. There are more waters rising, they will find their way to me. There are more waters rising, this I know. All right, we're gonna take it in pieces. Repeat after me. There are more repeat after me, 1 sec. I'm gonna sing, and then I'll point to you real big, okay? Promise. There are more waters rising, this I know, this I know. There are more waters rising, this I know, this I know. There are more waters rising, this I know. Your turn. There are more waters rising, this I know. There are more waters rising, they will find their way to me. There are more waters rising, they will find their way. There are more waters rising, this I know. Your turn. There are more waters rising, this I know. So you know my rules. Notes don't matter, words don't matter, just singing matters. All that matters. But the choir's gonna back us up. Some members of the choir are gonna back us up if you wanna try to catch it. Let's go. Waters. There are more waters rising, this I know, this I know. There are more waters rising, this I know. A little faster. There are more waters rising, they will find their way to me. There are more waters rising, this I know. Fires. There are more fires burning, this I know, this I know. There are more fires burning, this I know. There are more fires burning, they will find their way to me. There are more fires burning, this I know. There are more mountains falling, this I know, this I know. There are more mountains falling, this I know. There are more mountains falling, they will find their way to me. There are more mountains falling, this I know. I will wade through the waters, this I know, this I know. I will wade through the waters, this I know. I will wade through the waters when they find their way to me. I will wade through the waters, this I know. I will walk through the fires, this I know, this I know. I will walk through the fires, this I know. I will walk through the fires when they find their way to me. I will walk through the fires, this I know. I will rebuild the mountains, this I know, this I know. I will rebuild the mountains, this I know. I will rebuild the mountains when they find their way to me. I will rebuild the mountains, this I know. Waters rising. There are more waters rising, this I know, this I know. There are more waters rising, this I know. There are more waters rising when they find their way to me. There are more waters rising, this I know. You sound great.
Please remain standing as we say the words to extinguish the chalice. They are found in your order of service. As we extinguish the flame of this chalice, may we carry its light with us into the world in the power of peace, faith, justice, and love. Please be seated. Our benediction this morning is a poem, Obligations 2, by the Oglala Lakota poet, Layli Long Soldier. As we embrace, resist the future, the present, the past, we work, we struggle, we begin to fail, to understand, to find, to unbraid, to accept, to question the grief, the grief, the grief, the grief. We shift, we wield, we bury into light as ash across our faces.
Cuando canta